Are we recording right now, or
We
I'm not even sure like what this is.
we we are recording right now.
Oh,
This is what it is, and people might show up, and if they do, we'll take a listen to some of their music, and if they don't, well, then I get to have a conversation with a guy that I respect immensely and enjoy your creativity, and we'll
yeah. So what is this thing?
What is this thing? That's a great question. Wait a second. Ain't I supposed to be asking the questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but we
Okay,
got
but
time.
that's fair enough. What this is when I first started with the Midwest CMA, which is now rebranded Midwest Music Country Organization, the Midwest CMO.
Yes.
The organization had partnered with a place called Songtown out of Nashville.
Okay.
And Songtown was very helpful to me in improving my songs and creations. I felt like I was at this place where I'd kind of plateaued in my writing, and I needed help. I needed something to kind of get me moving in a better direction other than flatlining.
Sure.
Way back when, I won my one of these things. Um, I had a venue and we had cool showcases and I got cool people to come and play their cool music. Well, I lost that venue. And ever since that happened, I've kind of felt out of touch with the organization. Like, what am I here for? I feel
Hmm.
like I'm not really contributing. I'm not really hurting anything, but I'm just here. And again, I'm treading water. And so, what this is, or what it's supposed to be, what the vision of it was, trying to help people improve their songs. And in that quest, PT suggested that we have part of these meetings as kind of an educational element. But the first one was with PT, and the second one, and we just talked about what this could be and what it'd be like. The next one was with Greg, and we talked about production. The third one was with Brendan Backstrom. We talked about radio, specifically the Bob FM show and how they support local artists and definitely all the artists in the Midwest CMO. And now we're talking to you because I'd like to get some of your insights and songwriting because I think you're a great songwriter.
Thank you.
And I'm absolutely. And I'm a fan. I have, well, this one close by. You may, you
Excuse me.
know, yep. And I remember either you or Bronson gave me sort of a scenario of, yeah, we made this great album and then we didn't promote it at all.
Absolutely, we are the worst promoters.
Yeah.
We're just the worst at it, and uh, I don't know why. I don't know what it is that we do so horribly wrong. I don't know if we get so excited that we finish the album and then we're like it's there, and then maybe we don't know what to do. Maybe we like you know yeah. I There's not really a I don't really have an excuse except that maybe we're just not knowledgeable enough. We haven't taken the time to figure out how to properly do that and figure out algorithms and all that stuff, and which we probably should do or find someone significantly younger than us that knows what they're doing to help us, which is probably I mean, you know, we got some youngsters in our families you know, that are probably actually really good at that. So we should probably tap into that reservoir to help us. Um, but like, yeah, this one, I mean, we played that we finally played a CD release show, an album release show over a year after it was released. and we didn't have any albums there. So, I mean, which is kind of a classic, you know, goofy move, but for us, but yeah, we were really proud of that album. We really feel like it's a killer country record. Um,
No argument here.
and we it's funny, we did a Kickstarter for it, and we did a lot of great promo stuff for the Kickstarter, and then when the album was made, it just kind of like we did nothing, and it's disappointing in ourselves. um and then the other thing that's funny is you put it on CD, and then half the people on earth don't have a CD player anymore. Fortunately for us, like when we play fairs and stuff like that, uh we tend to pull skew a little bit older demographic. So you still have people with CD players in their trucks and in their cars and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Or they just refuse to stream. So those CD, but besides that, then that just makes a nice fancy coaster. So
I think, okay, so that was a great intro into self-deprecation. But I feel like we're missing a couple of things here in that um, even though you don't necessarily think you promote yourself like anyone else does, you almost don't need to because
the album, just on the album, I think we do okay with promotions for shows, and we've actually got our own little brand going. Like, it's kind of weird, and
quirky.
teams are kind of different looking, and so I think we got that locked down. But like when it comes to actually like um whether it's like finding like a promotion person to like help you get press on the record or something like that, we just are always very ill prepared by the time we get to that. And I mean, it all costs money and stuff as well, and like, I think when we originally budgeted for the record, we had kind of budgeted that in, and then as we were making the record, we were like, what would be cool? It would be way cooler if we had this person come in and play on this record. I mean, because the thing is, we're a duo, and but when we do records, we get to be a band, and we get to bring in who we want to be in it and make the
Yes.
record that we want, and then and that's always a really fun process. But um so that kind of happened, and then by the time we were done, we kind of didn't have a lot of promotional budget left, and I mean, that's just one excuse. I mean, there's a million of them. But yeah, but I appreciate you. I mean, as far as Papa Bear Norton goes, yeah, I don't even know. Like, we we love what we do. We and we pride ourselves on the shows that we do, and the music we write, and how we carry ourselves, and that kind of thing. Um,
Sure.
but at the same time, we think we're weird. Uh, and I mean, we know we're weird, and I mean that in a very nice way, but it's not untrue. And so yeah, we only have to do so much promotion because we can't really explain what we are until you see us. You know what I mean? Um, and even in like the world that we live in, with like where we live in the fair world a lot now,
For
you know.
sure.
Um, but even that, like, and we can I give a shout out on this or not?
Absolutely.
Oh,
All day long.
we we live in that world because of GL Berg Entertainment, and they're our booking agency. They do great by us, and when they signed us, I mean, they were completely transparent. Gary said, "I think we can sell you, but I don't know how." Like, I don't know really what you are. Like he saw us, and he knew we were something, but you know. And so, like, what we've learned is like they can try and book us, and sometimes it's very successful. But where we've really done well is when we get into the the fair conventions, and you only get 15 minutes, but we can, we go on and do our full thing, come out like we're shot out of the cannon, and we know we stick out, but we are entertaining, and that's what they want, something different and entertaining. But it's hard to describe it. So, we do the best we can promoting it, kind of making it a weird thing, but at the same time, like you're right, there's only so much we need to do because there's only so much that we can get through. You know what I mean?
You can pull
Really, our
off
promotion, when we do promotional videos, it's almost for our fans,
for sure. Yeah,
even
yeah.
even though it might be a fair that's, you know 500 miles away, that we know no one from around here is going to travel to.
I,
um
I
we,
like them all.
we like them to be entertaining.
Absolutely. And I love that you guys only need 15 minutes. You can pull off a lot of stunts in 15 minutes. I'm just saying, it only took Evil Knievel how long
Well,
to jump the Grand Canyon?
I got
I'm
it.
just saying.
I got to tell you a quick story if I can. And if I talk too much, Mark, you know me. Once I get going, you're gonna just have to shut her down. But
I
we
asked for this.
we
Also, remember that I asked for this.
so the weird thing about fair conventions are they're timed and they're strict, most of them. So
Hmm.
like when if they give you 15 minutes, there's a clock on stage, and when it, unless you've got like 30 seconds to go in a song, like if you're over that, they'll cut it. They'll cut the power. It's wild. And so we were playing this one. uh, it was the Rocky Mountain Fair Convention, and I can't remember where exactly it was, but I mean it was out in the Rocky Mountain region, so it's for all those fairs: Montana, Idaho, Colorado, all those, right?
Right
And
on.
it was like the time was, I think it was 15 minutes, but it was we were a little scared because like they seemed like real rigid about it. And so we we realized we were going long, and we started our song Big Buck Hunter, which has the joke breakdown in the middle, and we knew we weren't going to get through it. And so we got to the joke and we did the setup, and then when it came to the punchline, we're like, that's all the time we got, folks. If you want to hear the punchline, you're gonna have to book us at your fair. you know See ya. And I mean,
Love it.
people were roaring, and we did end up getting a show. This show we just played out in Montana was booked off that, and
Right
stuff.
on.
And so yeah, it's you know we have a lot of fun no matter where we go and what we do, and that's kind of what I know I got off track there. So what were you saying about the record? I'm sorry.
This interview is going to be just that. Completely going off the
I
rails,
know, I'm sorry.
coming back in and then going back off the rail. I have no idea. I
You
was too,
invited a guy
I
that
was
loves the
too,
sound of his voice, unfortunately.
I was too into your story that I forgot what the hell I was saying even before that. I'll have to catch the replay to get back my train of thought, which is totally okay. I want this. Just remember, I asked for this.
I know. Well, I don't know if you asked for this, but
Oh, I did. I did. This is this is this is what I wanted with with this back and forth section of what this is anyway. I wanted it to be more of a less of an interview and more of a real conversation,
sure.
but a conversation that you can have with a buddy that's too far away for me to come visit your house, and we could just do it right here on the internet, and over Zoom. And I think the thing about, I'm going to recap a little bit of what you already said, in that I think part of the thing, part of the whole charm of your act and Papa Bear Norton is that you guys are as weird as you want to be, and you're funny. You're fucking funny. That's
Thank
and um the I loved the Sheehaw thing that you guys did too, also with Kat Perkins was absolutely wonderful because it was you guys. It was you guys within that show.
Kat paid us the ultimate compliment on that one because she had the idea for the show and she invited us to do it. And I mean, we were in pretty much from the get go. Um, but, like you go into a project like that because she had written it out, she had written the majority of it. And we were like, well, do we give notes? Like, can we give notes? Like, we're like, and she was like, absolutely. You two are like the hee haw aficionados here. Like, like I wouldn't, if you guys didn't want to be involved, we wouldn't even be doing it, which was such a nice compliment. Like someone like her to say, I couldn't do this project without you was very, very uplifting.
Very
And
cool.
it is very fun. And we had fun, you know, because we do the classic bits. We do the poofed you're gone. And we were like, we don't want to do the ones that like someone else wrote those jokes. So we were like, well, so we were driving to a gig. It was a long drive, 3.5, 4 hour gig, you know. And Bronson and I just sat in the car and wrote 10 of those suckers, over 4 hours. And to be honest with you, like I probably shouldn't say this on the internet forever, but like it was like, where do you come up with this stuff? And so we actually looked at old jokes and then we're like, this is a funny joke. The premise is funny. How can we turn this joke into a song, a verse? Have kind of the same setup and punchline, but not have it worded exactly the same. And and it seems to work for us. But yeah, I mean, the thing with Papa Bear Norton, you said it really well too, is when we first started, we were like serious. I mean, we were a pretty serious act. We were well, we called ourselves a band, not even an act. We were very like, we're gonna save country music. We're gonna, it was like a 50-50 slow, sad songs, 50-50 like, you know, beer drinking, fighting song, like what you think of like outlaw country kind of.
Sure.
And what we realized once we started doing the fairs is no one goes to a fair to be sad. So like, especially a free stage. So like, you know, even though they're good songs, a song like Beer, Blood, and Gin, it doesn't play at that stage. And we were like, and most of our songs were beer drinking songs. And we were like, we're supposed to be this family friendly thing. And they still are. We still do have a lot of drinking songs. But we have a bit for it now, you know. We have this bit where we give a PSA talking about it. Kids in the audience need to know that you're going to hear us singing about a bunch of stuff. One thing you're going to hear me singing a lot about is drinking. But Bronson and I don't even drink. We just want you to know, like, you don't have to drink to be cool or have fun because we think we're pretty cool and we have fun and we don't do it. And if you're old enough to drink and you want to cut loose, go ahead. We're not judging you, but we just want the kids to know you don't have to. And the funniest thing about it is
It's true.
it's true, but then it's a setup. So we always get a smattering of applause from parents. And then the next line is, with that being said, we'd like to play this song off of our new album. It's called It's Hard to Drink All Day If You Don't Start in the Morning. And the laughs ensue, and people are locked in. And that might actually be the moment of the show because it happens pretty early on in the set where people realize, oh, there's nothing about these guys that these guys are just goofsters and that they're just going to be fun the whole time. and that's what we want. And so I guess what I was getting at is you said act. That is what we consider ourselves now. We are very much an act, you know, Papa Bear Norton, the character kind of. I mean, we that they're in us, but it's definitely elevated for the show a little bit, and and that makes it fun. And so, and the other nice thing is if we want to pivot and do something else, it can be something completely different, and we're going to be doing a tribute show to John Prine this fall.
Saw
um
that.
and yeah, and that's going to be awesome. And and then like, and we don't have to brand that as Papa Bear Norton, you know like Papa Bear Norton is just something that Zach and Bronson do. and
Yeah.
and it makes it very fun for us, and we love it. And I don't see us ever like being like we're going to do this instead of Papa Bear Norton. Like that's kind of our labor of love. But it's also nice to be able to
I got you. It's like another layer
mhm.
where this is a persona that works, that the machine works. The machine that you guys built works
It
really,
does work.
really,
Weird that
really
it works, but
well.
it does work. I will agree with you.
It works really, really well. And part of the reason that whole bit works and that whole turnaround thing works is I gotta admit, I've I'm a part of it as a fan. Like I couldn't believe for the life of me that neither you nor Bronson drank
Well,
after how many drinking songs I've heard you guys perform. And then that whole joke in the setup, and here it is on a platter. Like, you got
right.
you've converted everybody
Right.
to
Well,
Papa Bear
people come up
Nortonism.
and like people, you wouldn't believe how many like promoters are like, you guys don't want a beer, you don't want, and we always say no, we don't really drink, and they're like really, and the line I use is, you know, if a wheel falls off of a bicycle, it turns into a unicycle pretty quick, and it gets a little harder to ride, and if one of us get a little too loose, uh, and I'll tell you what, it happened like our third show in ever.
Right, right on. Well, okay. So from a performance point of view, just being the rhythm guitarist and standing alongside of Bronson, I have to think it is formidable. It's something that you have to have your bearings for.
Um, when we first decided to do this, you know,
Mm.
we had been in a band called the Buzzard Brothers,
Okay.
which was very similar. It was original country western, but it was a five piece, and it had a different front man, a buddy of ours who's a phenomenal front man, and I was just the rhythm guitarist and the primary songwriter at the time. And
Um,
when Bronson and I decided to get together and 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 get back together and do music again, he was like, "Well, we should just do a duo." And I was terrified. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm not a good guitarist. I mean, like, I can hold my own, but I'm not. I don't. And he said to me, "I've got guitars covered. There's a million." He literally said this. He said, "There's a million great guitarists, Zach. There's not a million great songwriters."
Amen,
And like,
brother.
you can do it. And what's really crazy is when we first started, he was a pretty good songwriter. He was. I would say he was okay, and now he's phenomenal.
Right
And
on.
and and because he'll always joke the band's named after me, um, but because of that, and because I'm the what the pen of the group of like Penn and Teller. Like he doesn't talk a lot. He only when he's got his bits, you know, and he's very um, humble and stuff. And so people, I think, just assume like I'm writing these songs. And the fact of the matter is we've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I'd say for 9.5 of the 10 years now, there hasn't been one song that we've put out that we haven't co-written.
Right on.
50-50. I mean, like, if we have a song idea, we'll text the other person the song idea. And and then both, we'll text the song idea, and then we'll text a premise. And then we will both write out lines, and and then it's not a text anymore, it's notes. So then you can change them, in real time. And then we get together with what we have cobbled together, pitch what we think the medley, like, or the melody should be, and what the chords should be. Like, none of that is, like, it's such a chaotic way to write. And the last time we did that, um over text like that, I can't remember which song it was, but we got together and there was only one chord different. It was so insane. I was like, this is nuts. We like
That's
are,
great.
you know, but when we have to sit down and write a song for something, um,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't freeze. My mind did. Musically, nothing makes me more excited than getting to co-write with Bronson. It's fun,
yeah.
and our process is nothing's off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing. We would rather go too far, play it, and say, "Whoa, this is no longer safe for family," and pull back, which happens a lot. No premise is too weird.
That's
No,
great.
and and you know, um, and when you don't have any parameters and you don't pigeonhole yourself, it makes life and songwriting so fun. And yeah, it's like writing with him I'm really blessed. Then you get on stage, and what am I worried about? All I have to worry about is me. I have to worry about remembering the words, remembering the chords. Um, I never have to worry about guitar work, solos. I'm, in my opinion, and he'd be mad at me for saying this, I get to throw over to, I think, one of the best, if not the best, country western style chicken picking hybrid player in the region for sure.
No argument there. I have to confess I've tried to poach Bronson to play guitar on a
Uh,
couple
he
of
works with it. He
productions
gets
for me.
poached all the time, and that's fine. It used to threaten me when early on. He was in other bands, and he was and 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 I'd be like, well, that's it. He wants to be done. And he got so sick of me always being like, hey, are you happy? Are we done? And he's like, dude, no, we're not done. Like, stop. So I don't even care. Like, I'm just like, make sure it's on the calendar.
Yeah,
Got something else going. And I know he's on,
absolutely.
he loves making music, and he's a motor.
Yeah,
Guy doesn't like to sit still. He doesn't like to, and, and I am I am a different part of the motor, but I've got a pulley and there's a belt from him to me. You know, I'm the alternator.
right, right, right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, I'm not running on my own, but Bronson keeps me going. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. He's the Energizer Bunny.
He's the actual motor. I'm just, I don't even know if I'm as important as the freaking alternator. I'm probably more just like an AC belt.
I don't know. We're back into self-deprecation mode, but
Whatever.
but 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 dude, it works, and it's easily my favorite thing. And I've told you this before, but whenever I can go and see you guys, it's like,
I know we missed you at Delano, man.
yeah, I couldn't do it. Uh,
It's so funny. I found one of your guitar picks and almost brought it. so that after the show, I could flick a pic at you and it
And
would
it
be
would be
your.
mine.
And then I didn't bring it. And then, I know you had a gig or something, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, but one other thing I want to say about Bronson, he has taught me so much. You know, he taught me how to co-write.
Right on.
So before that, I was very much like, here's the song.
Yeah.
When we started, I would bring in a song and he'd be like, maybe can we try this? And I'd be like, no, that's not how it's written. And he would just laugh at me. And he would be like, I'm not, he's like, I think you think I'm saying your song's not good enough. And that's not it. It's great. But maybe this could make it even better. Like it's starting at this level, but we should see if we can get it to this level. And when he explained it to me like that, and then like he went like 5 for 5, like his first 5 ideas just ended up being fucking awesome. And I was like, okay, like this isn't a contest. This is a collaboration. This is
Yeah.
and like people have worked with Bronson and like he's helped produce albums and stuff and it's always funny when you talk to those people because he is very straight shooter and it takes a little getting used to because there's no sugarcoating
Right on.
and it used to bug me and now I live for it because
Amen.
I don't want him to tell me something's good if it's not.
Right.
And if he's got it, and the other thing is when you learn to learn to write like that and learn to work like that with somebody, we're only a 2-man band, so there's no like we can't go to the drummer for the tiebreaker.
Right. Right.
And so what you learn to do is you learn to concede,
Yeah.
and like even in the studio, you know, we we vaguely talk about what we think a song should sound like, but we both kind of have ideas in our head what the production of a song, like what with drums and everything, like what's it going to be. And when it gets to the detailed stuff like pedal steel or guitar solos or fiddle parts, we will go and for lack of better word, our love language is we bicker and it's never serious. It's never serious. If we are not bickering or making fun of each other, there's a serious problem. And
Right
but
on.
the problem is we don't warn people. So like we're in the studio and the engineers in there and the helpers are in there and they're listening to us and we're bickering and you can tell they're like holy shit like this thing's gonna fall apart and then they laugh because it's like, well, I think it should be this way. I should think it should be this way. And we're like, well, let's just try it your way first. And, you know, if Bronson's idea goes first and it's really great, I know what mine's going to sound like.
Right. 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 Yeah.
You
And you're gonna
and
concede
his is better.
to the best
It's
idea.
never like, hey, great job. It's always like, son of a bitch. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. Fucking hate it, but all right, let's do it. And we don't really hate it. We love it because we feel
Yeah.
like it's great. But anytime you can go in and co-write with someone
Yeah.
and just go in completely drop your pride,
Yeah.
you know.
Amen. That's a good lesson.
And a great way to look at it is this person wants to write with you. So why are you going in there with your chest puffed, you know? And if it is an idea that you have that they're not too sure about and you want to die on that hill, then die on that hill. But like if it's an idea you think is going to work or you think might make it better and their idea you can hear it and it's not worse, give them their win.
Yeah. No, I
You
love that. You probably just gave everybody here in our last minute songwriting gold with that. And that's a
I
serious
didn't
thing
know how
that
long this was. Did I just, are we done?
we have less than 60 seconds left.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
how, that's
everybody. I
how, no, no,
told so
no,
many big stories.
no, no, no. I love these big stories and nobody else showed up. So this is what I wanted. I want this. You're doing the right thing because this is exactly what I wanted. And unbeknownst to yourself, you just gave everybody everybody who didn't show up and is going to catch this on the replay, they just got the gold. The whole thing about collaboration is in interest of making songs better.
The best they can be.
The best they can be.
And, and if your idea makes it the best they can be, great. And if someone else's idea makes it the best it can be, grab onto it because they're willing to share it with you.
Absolutely.
Song,
Absolutely.
that's what it is.